Thank you. So like Ryan had alluded to, part of this meeting is there's business to be done, but there's also time for us to really showcase some of the excellent work that's been happening around the city over the last few months, in particular in response to the COVID-19 and how leagues have responded. So first of all, I'd like to introduce to you Reetu Schaaf, from the president of Inglewood Community League. Now, Reetu is the current president of Inglewood, and she has an incredible spirit of volunteerism. And this was fostered early in her life through educational and community experiences. She first became involved in the league system as a teenager, which serving as one of 2 volunteer team coordinators for Southwood Community League. Now, this is not something that we hear about much anymore, but we are thrilled that Reetu has stayed with the system and with the community league movement ever since this. Her community contributions at that time were so significant that she was nominated by Southwood for the citywide EFCL Youth Award. As one of the 2 award recipients in 1992, she had the privilege of becoming the youth representative for the EFCL for a period of time, which included serving on the founding committee that created the City of Edmonton Youth Council. So Reetu has been a part of Inglewood's Community League Board of Directors since 2016. She has been serving as the league's president since 2018. And prior to the president's role, she was a director at large under the social committee and then was one of the 2 sports directors. She sees the value leagues bring in connecting neighbors and fostering neighborhood identity. So I'm going to pass it over to Reetu now to share the story of how Inglewood has responded to the needs of their community in this time of COVID-19. Over to you, Reetu.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Laura, for the introduction and for inviting Inglewood to share a bit about our experience and one of our initiatives over this period with you. This term started off for our league, like I suspect many of yours did. We had events and activities planned primarily to take place over the spring and summer months, either out of our hall or on our grounds. Then in March, with the arrival of the pandemic in Edmonton, everything that our directors had been working on ground to a halt. Our community is very fortunate to have a really engaged group of directors, I have to say, who when I asked, were willing to pivot and to think about doing something other than what they had planned to do this year. Looking back at over the last 2.5 months, our focus over this period has been threefold: monitoring our assets, sharing as much information as we could with members and with residents, and offering something in place of our normal activities. By the end of March, we had 2 core teams come out from our board of directors. There was a team of 7 to 8 directors that had come forward to support monitoring the buildings and grounds. They quickly set up a schedule and a checklist based on the information that EFCL and Foster Park provided early on. And without any paid resources in our league, this greatly helped the executive share the load in keeping an eye on our assets and our structures. There was another group of 4 to 5 directors from our program and social committee that focused in on what the league could offer to residents. From this team, Inglewood's outreach initiative was established and launched in early April. Internally, the initiative was promoted via our e-newsletter, our website, our Facebook account, and through a postcard mail drop by volunteers. Externally, I had the opportunity to participate in a Facebook Live interview with Councillor Eslinger to promote the initiative there. Something I didn't even know existed. When she said Facebook Live, I thought we were having a teleconference. I didn't quite realize it was an interview, but I went with the flow and ended up being able to promote the initiative through that mechanism. It was also, of course, mentioned through EFCL in the weekly communication to others, and that also gave us a bit of a boost. The initiative initially offered grocery and prescription pickup, book exchange, and an ability to establish a friendly phoner network in our community. Soon after the initiative was launched, food security was added. This support was accomplished through partnering with other organizations based in Inglewood. And actually there's a number of organizations that were involved. Neighborhood Table, who is actually a group that normally provides free meals out of our hall twice a month. Inglewood Reform United Church, which also backs Neighborhood Table, Winifred Stewart Association, and Uncles and Aunts at Large, which is also based in our community. Of course, these organizations support beyond our community, but they are based here. The most requested supports from our residents were food hampers, followed by curbside grocery prescription pickup. Beyond our community, the initiative ended up supplying 27 food hampers to Uncles and Aunts at Large for distribution within their program. So to date, our COVID outreach initiative has reached 41 individuals, either through need or who acted as a volunteer in our program. Overall, the initiative helped us to identify engaged members in our community who are willing to volunteer and who want to connect with other neighbors. So that's been a huge positive out of this initiative, which is a bit of a stretch for us because it was a bit to the side of what our league had typically engaged in. Now our directors are focusing back in on their efforts to launch some virtual programming in our community. So upcoming, we're going to be having a virtual community block party. A book club is being launched virtually, and yoga will be launched virtually as well. And this is to provide us with some interim programming until we can have access to our facility again, which we cross our fingers will be sooner rather than later. But our directors are great and don't want to sit down on the job and are looking for other ways to do something in the meantime. Beyond our initiative, our COVID initiative, which really has gotten us the most attention, we were able to carry on with board and committee meetings by moving everything to video conferencing. So we are on the Google platform in all ways now. And so we use Google Meets to do our business. We held a modified May cleanup through some volunteers that were willing to take the time to clean everything and take it out and do a drop at a resident who was willing to engage in cleanup for us. Our garden club has been able to meet the requirements to open up the gardening space on the league grounds. And that's what we've been really focused on for this last little bit. Yeah, I won't take up too much time because I see it's a rather large agenda, but that was our real focus over this last period and how we'll probably continue to function until things return closer to normal. And yeah, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to share a bit of our experience over here with you guys.